Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video we're gonna be working on this shawl or bikini cover in the Aztec design. So as you can see here, we pretty much work the exact same stitch over and over and over again, and this is what it comes out to here. This is the design that you will end up seeing on the project. Nothing too complicated here. I'm using a cotton yarn, so I'll go over the materials that I used so you guys can make something similar. You can use any other yarn of your choice. So if you don't have cotton yarn at this size, you can use it a little bit bigger. Just make sure that you follow the design, and it will probably just look a little bit different because you're using a different type of yarn or size of yarn or whatever the case is. Often I recommend that if you are going to do something, especially if you're not an advanced crocheter and you don't know how to kind of work the different types of yarn, and if you don't know how to work with a different crochet hook, then just follow the instructions as they are. Go as close to the yarn type as possible and use as close to the crochet hook as possible so that you kind of get your work to be very consistent to what is being shown here. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working on. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay my lovelies, before we get this project started, I'm going to show you all the materials that we need for it. And as you can see here, I have my yarn. I'm going to be using this yarn here. The actual label for these I have lost. I'm not sure where I put it, but I will show you guys a different one here that is pretty much the same. So it's the same as these here. So this is Cotton King. I got this from Hobby. I got it online, but this is pretty much cone 500 and then 8/4. And for the information about this, so it's 500 grams for this amount here, and then it's or which is equivalent to 17.5 ounces, or which is the same as 1700 meters or 1859 yards. Okay, this one here, let's see, the color is 30 for this one, but as you can see it's red. I don't remember the color number for this, but I also go with the green for that. And what else? This is Cotton King. Then that's the cone number there. Recommended hook size is 2 to 4 millimeter crochet or 3 millimeter crochet hook, or US C-E/2-4. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be working on, is a super light or super fine number 1. So it's a very thin yarn. So these are pretty much the same information as they are for this, except for this one is this color. For my crochet hook, I'm gonna be using a 4.25 millimeter crochet hook, just because I like something a little bit loose. Even though this one is recommending a 3 millimeter crochet hook, I'm gonna be using my 4.25 millimeter crochet hook, which is G6 US. I have my scissors here as well as my tape measure to determine the sizes. Okay, all right, so that's all the information we need. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay my lovelies, so we're gonna get started with the project here, and as you can see, I just wind my yarn on my finger for tension control. So I'm gonna start by doing a slip knot. Just leave a little bit hanging so you don't lose your work. I do my slip knot like this. Okay, so that's my slip knot, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's my chain of 8 right here, and I'm gonna hold the work so that the chain is facing me. That's the other side of the back here, but I want to make sure that this side is facing me as I work my first row. And so for my first row, I just pivot my work like that, and then I complete a treble crochet in the very last, the first stitch that we started here. So for a treble crochet, we yarn over twice, and then we go into that first stitch, and I grab the back of that chain just so that it doesn't hang too much. Then I bring that through like this, and if I hold my work like this, I have 4 loops on the hook. So I'm gonna yarn over, go through the first 2 loops. I have 3 left. I will yarn over again, go through the first 2 loops. I have 2 left. Then I will yarn over, go through the next 2 loops like that. Okay, so now I don't have any more loops except for the one where my hook is coming from. And so that's our first row. Okay, so you have your first row completed here. And then you're going to start your second row and you chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're going to turn your work. And for this second row, you're going to go into this first stitch right here, pretty much where the chain is coming out of. So right here. And you're going to do a treble crochet. So you yarn over. And again, you have 4 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over, go through the first 2. Yarn over, go through the next 2. And you have 2 loops left on the hook. You're not going to complete that because we need to move our work along. So you have it like this. So with these 2 loops on the hook, you're going to yarn over twice. So 1, 2. And then you're going to skip over to this side here and you're going to count out 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth, so in the fourth right here, you're going to go into that stitch, bring it back. You end up with 5 loops on the hook because you had 2 left over from this stitch here. So it gives you 5 as opposed to 4. You're going to yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, go through the next 2 loops. You have 3 left. You're going to yarn over, go through all 3. Okay? And this way, you have completed these 2 triangles here. And as you can see, it looks like that. But we cannot stop here because as you can see, it's missing a triangle right here. So to complete that triangle, we're going to do a chain of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for the final work here, you're going to you're going to go here and where your first stitch, this stitch here, where you put that stitch, you're going to go over and complete a treble crochet into the exact same stitch like this. So yarn over, and for a normal treble crochet, you'll always end up with 4 loops on the hook like that. Then you're going to yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over, go through the final 2. Okay? So that is what we want to have by the end of row 2. Okay? So the first row has just 1 triangle. The second row has 3 triangles, and they're facing the opposite each time. So for this one here, you have the pointy side down, and then each on top has a corner. And then for the middle one, you have the pointy side on top and the 2 corners in the bottom. And the third is the exact opposite. So the pointy down and the 2 on top. That is your second row. And as you will see, this increases by 2 stitches every time, or by 2 of these triangles every time. We started with 1 for row 1. For row 2, we have 3. So which means for row 3, we will have 5. So I'll show you how to start row 3. Okay, so again, you start by doing a chain of 7. So in this work, you're going to be doing a chain of 7 for every beginning of the stitch. And by the way, this is the Aztec design here. The fact that we have these triangles kind of going facing opposite, the next one is facing the opposite way than the next. That is what we call the Aztec stitch or design. Okay, so we start by chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You turn your work and you're going to do an incomplete treble crochet into that first stitch where your chain 7 comes out of. So yarn over twice, go into that stitch, bring it back. You will have 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, go through the next 2 loops. Okay, like that. You have 2 loops left on the hook. You don't complete it. You yarn over twice, go into the top corner of this triangle in the middle and go into that, bring it back. For this section, you will have 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, and then for the last, go through all 3. So yarn over, go through all 3 like that. So we just created our first 2. Okay, and then you will chain 4. So again, when you're doing these parts here, it's always a chain of 4. When you're going from one triangle to another like this, you're gonna do the 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then into that same stitch, just like we did the first part here, we're gonna go and do an incomplete treble crochet into the same stitch. So like this, you have 2 loops left on the hook. You're going to yarn over twice, count your stitches. So this is your chain 7 here. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. In the 4th right here, you're going to go in, and you have 5 loops because you have the 2 loops that carried over. You're gonna go ahead and go through the first 2, then go ahead and go through the second 2, and then complete the 3 altogether for that part. Okay, so as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, but because it's our third and we're increasing by 2 triangles each time, we have to do another one at the end. So for this final one, and as you can see, this triangle here is facing like this. So this is the top sharp corner and then the 2 in the bottom. The previous one has the bottom as a sharp and then 2 on top, and then just continues to grow like that. And so which means the next one that we do here, the tip is gonna go here and the top is gonna have this section right here. Okay, so with that said, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go into the same stitch. So that stitch that we did the last one, we're gonna go into that. You have 4 loops on the hook here like this because there's a normal treble crochet. You're gonna go through the first 2, go through the next 2, go through the final 2. So now you will see that our triangle is complete like this. Okay, and that is what we want to keep doing. So I'm gonna show you another row. Then first, so this is gonna be our row 4, and so we have 5 triangles in row 3. We're gonna have 7 in row 4. Okay, so we start by doing a chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn your work. In this first stitch right here where your chain 7 comes out of, go ahead and complete, not complete your treble crochet, but do an incomplete treble crochet. Okay, an incomplete meaning you don't complete the final 2 loops on your hook. Now that you have that, you need to work into this. So we're gonna yarn over twice, go into the middle of the second triangle right there on top of it, and then you have 5 loops for this section because you have the one that carries over from the previous one. Go through the first 2, go through the next 2, and then go through all 3 for the final one like this. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and start the next one. So we do a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go into the same stitch right here, yarn over twice, go into this and do an incomplete treble crochet, meaning you don't complete the final 2 loops. So we do these 2 loops, we leave them alone, and then we yarn over twice. We go into the next top corner here and we complete another one of the completed treble crochet, but we go through the final 3 altogether like this. Okay, and then we do a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We go into the same stitch right here and complete an incomplete treble crochet. So don't complete it, leave it like this. And then now that we have 2 loops left on the hook, we're gonna yarn over twice. We're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. So on this 4th one, we go into that stitch. We have 5 loops on the hook. We go through the first 2 loops, the next 2 loops, and then the final 3, like that. And as you can see, we are missing a triangle here because we want this corner to be as sharp as this one. So that means we chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over twice, go into the same stitch and complete your normal treble crochet. Okay, so now if we look at it like this, that's how it looks. Okay, so you can start to see the Aztec design here very clearly. It looks like a star here, here, and it's going to continue to build up like that. And as I told you, for the 4th row, you should have 7 small triangles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because it increases by 2 each time. And so if we do our fifth row, which I will show you, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For our fifth here, we should have 9 triangles. We have 7 here. We increase by 2 for the next row, and then it just continues to build up like that. So I will show you this here as a final row for me to show you, and then all you have to do is just build it up the same way until you have the size that you want. And you could be doing these for yourself, for someone else, and these are all work that I do that measures to fit. Okay, so, and what I mean by that is I don't tell you how many rows you do for extra small, small, medium, large, extra large. I just pretty much tell you to work it, try it on every time, or make sure you try it on the person you're making it for. And when it comes to size that they would prefer, you stop there. Okay, so let's start our row 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start our row 5. Again, every row starts with a chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn. Okay, and then in the very first stitch right here where our chain 7 comes out of, we do an incomplete treble crochet. We yarn over twice. We go into that and take 2 loops off. Yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through the next 2 loops. You have your 2 loops left because you're not completing that treble crochet. You yarn over twice. You go into the top of the triangle, the next after that. So you skip the chain 4 that we did previously, and then you go into that corner, bring it back. You will have 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the next 2, okay, and then yarn over, go through all 3. So that's your second triangle, okay, and it's facing the exact opposite than the other one. It's like a mirror image. And then for the next, you do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and by 4 I mean chain of 4. And then into the same corner that you just went into, you will complete an incomplete treble crochet. So meaning you yarn over twice and then go through the first 2 loops, go through the first 2 loops, and in the third you don't complete, and then you leave it there, but you will go ahead and yarn over twice, go into the next corner just like we did the previous one, and then you have 5 loops, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, go through the next 2 loops, go through all 3 loops. Okay, and the best way to kind of make sure you're going straight here is that you have to always create a triangle that is opposite from the previous one. So if your previous one has a sharp corner in the bottom, then you have to make sure the next one has a sharp corner on top, and then you just continue like that. All right, so now we come a point where we have to create the one that has a sharp corner in the bottom, which means we do a chain of 4. And then we go into the same stitch and do an incomplete treble crochet, meaning we have 2 and we don't go through the first 2, and then we yarn over twice. We go into the next corner or the next sharp, which means we skip 4 stitches, and then go through the first 2 loops, the next 2 loops, and then the final 3 loops together. Okay, and then we chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We go into that same stitch and complete an incomplete treble crochet, meaning we don't go through the final 2 loops. Okay, and then we yarn over twice. We count out 1, 2, 3, meaning we're skipping those 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then in this 4th, because it's a chain 7, so we go into the middle, meaning we have 3 stitches left here, we have 3 stitches over there, and then you go over to that and you complete your treble crochet. But this is the one from that carried over from the previous row, which means the final 3 you go through all 3 of them, okay, like that. And then because we want to complete our corner here, we're gonna yarn over, like we're gonna do a chain of 4, and then we're gonna skip over to that same stitch we just went into and complete our regular treble crochet. Oops, that's a double crochet. We want to yarn over twice, go into that stitch, and complete our final treble crochet for this row. Okay, so I'm gonna put my work down here so I can kind of talk about it a little bit. So again, if I hold it like this is how our triangle looks. So for this row here, which is row 5, we should have 9 triangles, small triangles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this here. This is now a repeat that you're just gonna keep doing until this builds up into your triangle shawl, into your triangle bikini cover, whatever you're making this for. It could be a summer shawl because you want it to be really light, but you just repeat the same thing here until you have what you need. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope 5 rows is enough to show you how this pattern works. Nothing changes. You literally continue to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over until you have the size that you're looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for mine here, and when I have the size that I want, I will come back to the video to show you guys how it looks like, and I will also tell you guys how many rows I ended up doing. Okay, see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and worked on my shawl here or bikini cover, and as you can see, I have gone all the way to here, and I've decided that I would stop here. So I went ahead and did a chain 1 and cut my yarn and pull. So that means that's the end of my work here. I'm not gonna do any borders or anything like that. I think it looks nice just the way it is. If you want to do borders and you're an advanced crocheter and you want to do something that may look a little bit better to you or in your opinion, go ahead and do that around your shawl, but otherwise I just leave mine like this. Okay, so as you can see, these are my 2 top corners here, and this is the corner where we started our work in the bottom here, and all the corners are exactly the same. If I measure from here to here, it's the same as if I measure from here to here, and it's the same as if I measure from here to here. Okay, but I did about 55 rows altogether. Okay, so 50, this is my 50, this is my 50th row here, not 55 but 50. If I measure, which I haven't done yet, so I'll do that with you guys. It's too big for me to kind of show you guys the whole thing, but I pretty much just place my tape measure right there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go across it all the way to the other side, and because it's really big, I'm gonna go and do this. So I have about 42 inches if I don't stretch it at all. Okay, this is if I just place it flat, is about 42 inches, and this should be the same for each of the corners. But of course, again, if you stretch this, it's gonna stretch a little bit. As you can see, it's very flexible and very stretchy. So if you stretch this, you will pretty much kind of go up to like about 50 inches. Okay, but that's pretty much it here. So I did 50 rows, like I said, and it's about 50 inches if you stretch it on each of the corners. Okay, so now all I have to do is just go and weave in my end. So I have the end here and then the end where we started. So where I ended, where we started, those are the only 2 things. And actually, I'm just gonna do it with you, because all I do, because I cannot really weave it in into the work because the work is very meshy, so it's just gonna kind of come out. There's nothing to hold it too tight. So what I do is I just knot each of these corners, and then I just cut it off. So I just do this, okay, so that my corner is like that, and I will do the same here. So I've already done my chain 1 where I ended my work before I cut off the yarn, and I'm just gonna knot that there. I do it twice just to be a little bit sure that it's not gonna come off, and then I just go ahead and cut it there. Okay, so, and this is all the yarn I wasted from this, so that I don't like to waste too much yarn, so I just don't leave these to be too long. And that's it. That's pretty much the end of the project. It's very light. It's super, super light. And I love this because all you will have to do is just throw this on when you go to the beach under your, on top of your bikini, and then you're good to go, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment section below. Make sure you share with your friends in case they would like to make something like this, or just make it for them if you're like, you know, a passionate crocheter like I am. Make some of these for your friends for presents and things like that. And yeah, so thank you so much again for watching the video to the end. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe, and make sure you comment, share, give a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye. Oh yeah, and just because just in case some of you want to know how much yarn I used, I cannot really measure to tell you exactly how much I used, but this is pretty much from a full package that was like this. Okay, I don't know if you can see the difference of how much is used, not too much at all. So I still have that amount of yarn left over, which is awesome because I will have some other projects to do with it, okay? But yeah, so that's, I came back to just show you guys that in case you have any questions about it, okay? All right, thank you, bye.